I would like to express my my pleasure to be here, to meditate with all of you, to spend a bit of time for this second session. So I think, of course, now most of you are well aware and about the focus of this course, this 10 days course of meditation, and at the same time there are also many of you who have, I heard, particularly joined in here for today's program because of the weekend, which allows for all of you for you to be here. So I would like to welcome all of you and wish you all a good morning as well, and together with it also Namaste. And now of course, now, as I said earlier, you know about the meditation course. It's about, as it is mentioned, about Shamata, and then mainly I think based on Shamata, I think, and then of course also with the input of the Vipassana or insight, as it is known. Of course, to be quite open and to be quite direct, and Vipassana, I think, is something that we learn, that we experience, that we gain experience in over time. And that's something cannot be just understood within a few sessions, let's say, now, or within a few first few trials of the meditation. It takes something, it take how do I say it? Get used to it, to get used to. So, but just like the Sosojong vow itself, on the first day, as I mentioned, that it's about, although we are currently not familiar with it, we are trying to mimic, or we are trying to imitate the realized beings. So similarly here, although at the moment we are not really used to it, we are again trying to, initially, to get used to, we are again imitating it. But having said that, imitate, we should not get discouraged or get the wrong idea that we are just trying to adopt something or imitate something that is not according to our own potential or nature. If you do that, if you're actually doing that, of course there's not much of a point. And the reason why we try to practice, first of all, or as I said, imitate, is because potentially, how to say, we do have the basis, the ability, the seed, the virtuous seed. We have it with us innately, and most importantly, as it is said, the quality is there, or how do I say it? Yes, this is the best way to put it. That we have the unborn quality to meditate. We have the unborn quality to be virtuous. We have the unborn quality to be good, let's say. So that's why, although currently we are trying to imitate, that doesn't mean that it's not according to our own, how do I say it, constitution, let's say. So it is very much, we do very much have the seed, and therefore by imitating initially, it somehow helps us to open, as they say, open our mind, or we basically sort of dig out the quality, or wash the quality, as they say, or purify the quality, as they say, so that in time it grows, it grows. And once it's fully blossomed, then we have no more need to imitate. We have no more need to put any effort. It becomes effortless. It becomes very natural, just like breathing. I don't know if it's a good example or not, but let's say like when a baby is born, although it has the capacity, the potential to breathe, let's say, but initially either the doctor or the parents have to somehow do something to I don't know, so that the baby first learns to breathe, yes? Otherwise, they are not really used to breathing, let's say, So just like that, somehow we have to initially little bit sort of force ourselves, but afterward it gets easier and easier. Yeah. So today, with the, as it is said, calm abiding or the shine, we will be doing a very simple, basic breathing meditation. It is very basic. Basic doesn't mean that it's very, how to say, kindergartenish or, immature. It means that it's sort of the root of it, So therefore it is very important. So the good thing about it is that, and then both those of us who are familiar or unfamiliar with meditation, unfamiliar with the Shamata, that we can somehow connect together. So, but prior to that, I would like all of you to, clear your mind. And of course, the way you sit is also very important. Normally they are known as, I think, 7 virtuous or way of sort of posture or something. Not necessarily we have to do all, or some of us might not even be able to do all of it due to, let's say, physical conditions and so on. So if we are able to sit in the sort of either a lotus posture or vajra posture, meaning in terms of the legs first, yes. Legs, if we can sit in the vajra, which would be sort of both the soles on top of our, on top of our, what you call, knees. If that's difficult, then just a normal sort of cross-legged sitting, which is known as, I think, lotus sitting, because it's shaped like a lotus, yeah? Lotus flower. And then if you need to put some, use any cushions for the sitting, that's also fine. And then to have your back also straight, I'm sure, like in the last few days, these were the things that you were already introduced. But just to remind, then hand gesture, of course, there are many. All of those gestures or postures would, of course, help to meditate. Or there are also certain types of mudras that one does, which also helps to sort of focus particular channels and so on. But in this case, we will just do the usual meditation sort of gesture, which is sort of to have the left hand underneath your right hand, let's say. And then after that, then of course the position of our head seems to be another important point, which is that we shouldn't be also too high. Also should sort of be looking upwards into the ceiling, or we also shouldn't be looking too down onto the floor, and because both of those would generate either sleep, or it will generate distraction. So the best is, as I say, sort of natural position, which is just to be, straight. And in terms of our eyes, it is said that if you are just beginning, if you are not used to it, we should close our eyes, because it helps to avoid distractions. But if you are used to it, if you are comfortable with it, then to just sort of open our eyes slightly, almost like maybe 40%, meaning that if you look towards the length or the line from our nose, from that sort of direction, from that angle, then naturally our eyes are sort of half open, So I think the reason why these postures and gestures are advice is so that we will have less distraction, we'll be able to focus more on our meditation, we'll be able to calm the mind that much more just by the posture, without doing anything mentally. So physically we're already sort of making it more natural. Yeah. And then of course today we are sort of focusing on the breathing, so we will be breathing constantly through our nose. And unlike exercise, it says that physical exercise, we breathe in through our nose and exhale through our mouth, yes? But in this case, we will be just doing all of that through our nose only. So yes, it's very good to also unblock your nose. And right, now now the general sort of idea of the breathing meditation is very simple. It's sometimes we count the breath, and the number of breaths that we inhale and exhale, so that our mind is just focused, sort of occupied with one thing, a very basic, simple thing, and then that is not being distracted by other thoughts or happenings, from the surroundings and so on. Similarly, if you focus on an object, same thing. So that's why we sort of focus on the number of the counts of breath. And today I thought that instead of counting the breath, which initially might work, but after a while it might get a little bit of even tiring. Instead, I thought probably we'll just do something else. Now, in terms of breathing, I would like all of you to breathe, of course, very calmly, naturally as possible. Yes. So, meaning that slow and long breaths, which will, of course, again help to calm the mind, but also not extremely slow in terms of unnatural to our habit. And also, of course, not too abrupt, not too short as well. Meaning that to a rhythm that we are first comfortable with. And once we are comfortable, then slowly, then we can begin to sort of breathe. We can inhale and exhale slower, much slower. Basically, it's like we are trying to get to a rhythm of breathing when we are sleeping very comfortably. Yeah. When somebody is lying down and sleeping very comfortably, actually their breath is actually quite natural. Yeah. Of course, not while they're dreaming. Of course, then according to the dream, then the count of breath and then the rhythm of breath is also not so steady. So basically, that's where we're trying to get to. So now we need a purpose, we need a reason, of course, to meditate. If you do that, then I think it'll help to have some, let's say, enthusiasm. Yeah. So now, as I said, clear your mind, and probably like 3 times, to really sort of exhale a little bit deep, so that you clear your thoughts at the same time. Like that. And then, very simply, just think of the very individual that is next to you, either both to your right, left, as well as in front of you, as well as those who are behind of you, and think of them. And then, of course, naturally just slowly expand towards the rest, meaning in this very whole, try to think of all the individuals that are here. And then try to think of slowly, sort of like as if a very sort of small radius or a circle that is slowly expanding, and you are the center of it. And slowly, then it's that sort of circle is expanding, meaning outwards, then beyond this very whole, and slowly reaching towards more and more individuals that you can think within this area. That means, of course, then try to think of, let's say, all the also non-humans as well, meaning the very birds or insects or any other animals. And slowly, and then you expand again that circle beyond the compound. For example, across the street, into the forest, and slowly, even more expanding towards, let's say, towards the entire city. all the individuals or sentient beings that you can imagine, that you can think of. So while you do this, again, of course, your rhythm of breath should be gentle, smooth, slow and steady. Always inhaling and exhaling through your nose only. And then slowly beyond the cities, meaning all the neighboring cities. And then more and more, beyond the cities, beyond the entire map of the country, and beyond all of the neighboring countries. Onwards, the whole globe. And onwards, expanding into the limitless space where there are countless of sentient beings. And onwards towards the countless of universes. And then think of all the sentient beings' difficulties. Very simply, physical difficulties, the various types of physical difficulties. Of birth, living, aging, illnesses, and death. And a repetition of that very cycle. Endless repetitions of that very cycle. And similarly that of the speech. Similarly that of the mind. And then now slowly focus on your breath. Slowly tell yourself that as you slowly inhale each time, you inhale all of those difficulties of sentient beings, and every time you inhale, they are all purified. Meaning not remaining any of those difficulties with you, but simply evaporating it into emptiness. And as you exhale, each time, or every time, you exhale all the joy, all the virtues, all the freedom to all sentient beings. And with that rhythm of thought, then you slowly inhale and exhale. we order it, still unable. I think she's having a tough time translating that. Basically what I'm trying to say is that at the moment, unable, meaning that even though we want to be calm, be collective, and so on, and with composure and so on, it's very difficult. It's somehow first of all, even the body itself won't allow it, because it is like as if it's been shaken too much, that even if you just put it still, it still has its sort of after effect. It's still shaking, so therefore it cannot stay calm. So therefore, even though we want to be, composed, it just won't allow it. It has already a very habit of sort of, even though you want to, let's say, sit still, our legs won't allow it. It wants to go everywhere. So now, having said all that, with this kind of meditation, then the benefit is that it helps you to reach a state where you are able, extremely able, very able. It is said that it's kind of a bliss, but that's interpretation that could make a very, very wrong, let's say, impression. So the closest I can think of is, that our very physical well-being or physical being, gains a state of being very able. Yeah, meaning that as we wish, it's able to accomplish it. Yeah, and then similarly with speech, similarly with the state of mind, and if we have that, and then it is said that we overcome illness, overcome all sorts of basically physical obstacles. Yeah. Physical meaning both speech and body. They are linked, yes. And if you have that, then we can fully focus on the truth itself, meaning on the phenomena, the truth of the phenomena, the truth of self, truth of mind, whatever we call it. Right now, our body itself won't allow it, yes? Like, for example, maybe our legs won't allow it, first of all. Forget about that, even the mattress won't allow it, or the cushion won't allow it, and the weather. And then even though we're in a good mood, noises won't allow it. Many things. So that's why initially we have to force ourselves, imitate, so that we have to sort of pass a certain boundary, It's like right now we are caught within the orbit, within the gravitational pull of habit. As a result, we have no choice but to somehow force ourselves. Once we are out of the orbit, then we have our own sort of momentum or freedom of rhythm and so on. So, therefore, I would like you to continue with the various methods of Shine, which will help you to gain that ability of ableness, But should you wish to do this, to do just what we did right now, it's not within the textbook, of course, more or less something invented on the spot, which may be helpful. So if you in case if you want to do it, particularly when breathing, how do you say, you can sort of elaborate a little bit. Right now what I did was just on the spot, so therefore it was very raw, the material. But nevertheless, if you wish to sort of elaborate, when you breathe, particularly inhale or exhale, you can even sort of elaborate on the air itself, let's say. You can just to sort of, meaning that as you inhale, like you inhale from the whole of samsara, let's say, or from the whole of the universe, in one single breath, like you inhale all of it, you know. And at the same time, also when you exhale all the virtues, as I said, you reach out to all sentient beings in one go, you know. So meaning that it has no distance, yeah. I mean, we can no distance because we cannot measure it. You see, that far, that great, that limitless, you know. So that's why initially, if you feel it's a little bit too much, you know, then as I said, one can just sort of base on the surroundings, like the very hall you are, or the very room you are in, and so just within that boundary, you know. Yeah. And if it's unclear, you can color code the air that you breathe, you know. Either white, most likely white is the best. Yeah, simple, and what do you call it? Passive, and a peaceful color. Yeah, certainly not red. Blue would still do, but often white would be best. Of course, in traditional sort of textbooks, meditative guides, there are, of course, like one can even sort of color code variously, you know, the very air that you sort of inhale and exhale and so on, and in terms of length and so on. But that's according to the textbook. Right now, this is just a sort of not really. So sort of just, as I said, invented on the spot. So therefore, you can just try that. If it helps, the main thing is if it helps. But that doesn't mean those also like you don't follow the textbook, of course. One must follow the textbook. It really helps. You must have a full understanding of it. Try all of the methods. Get a feel to it. Good experience gain some good experience about it. And then from there onwards, it becomes an individual thing for yourself. But when you share it with the others, explain it with the others, often the best is also always to follow the textbook, so that you can never go wrong. So then I hope that that was useful.